Okay, so Ryan, I hope you can get comfortable and follow along here. And I don't know whether or not you saw this on the website, but this is a very good illustration of the summary of what we're looking for in diamonds, and a little bit of theory behind what we're trying to do, which is get as much weight as possible from the rough of a diamond. So this illustration points out, let's say, what cutter A did. Got total internal reflection, which means sparkle to you and me. And this cutter, as you can see, just wanted a lot of weight. So that when you put it on the scale and the diamond is priced per carat, this is like an 11-ounce sirloin, and this might be a 5-ounce butter filet mignon. Make sense? You can see how light goes into the stone and it's leaking, shallow crown. Just a little bit of, it's my job to show you, but I'm trying to explain how we're trying to get as much weight as possible and yet have a beautiful stone. So weight is not exactly what the aim is. It's a psychological achievement, but you can have a 2-carat pear shape that's funny looking compared to a beautiful carat 75. So with that in mind, I was looking at a few pear shapes, and we have to take into consideration other issues, such as color. Color is graded table down, not face up. So despite what you might hear, or if somebody says to you, oh, I can tell the difference between an E and an F or G and an H, you can't. We have clinical lab instrumentation here. We have master sets. You need lighting conditions, and that's how we tell, by contrasting and comparing with the others. Going back to the way the diamond is cut, this is what unlocks the color. So you can have a beautiful I color or J color that looks whiter than a G if the G was cut inferior. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. This is more about the make of the diamond. Your inclusions, that's something that everybody has a little bit of an idea. Your amateur or first-time engagement ring buyer knows a little bit about something of inclusions. And this in the, let's say, the internally flawless VVS1 and VVS2 range, these are your, and here's VS1, these are your better qualities, much better. You need a loop, you need maybe magnification to see where any inclusion or any identification would be of something you'd see in a plotting diagram. This I1, 2, and 3, these are your lowest grades, and those are readily identifiable when you pick up a loop, or sometimes you don't even need a loop. You can just see something. You don't know what it is, but you know that maybe it shouldn't be there. But I wouldn't shy away from anything in the VS2, SI1, SI2 range, as long as you know where the inclusion is and you know it's your diamond. Most of the diamonds that I have, that I will show you, will also have an identifying characteristic on the girdle here, which will put the number of the diamond report on the girdle. So that's another identifying characteristic. So with some of that, just highlighting the overview of where we're going with this, let's take a look at these stones. Okay, and this is what we want, a lot of fire. So we have a number of stones that, and I love pear shapes. I'll show you. I have my own pear shape here. Let's see, right here. This is what I wear every day. And so I'm not telling you a story when I say they're my favorite. It's what I wear every day. And the most important thing, you want to see a lot of scintillation, and you don't want to see a bow tie. A bow tie is something that is right across the center, and it has dark spots. So let's take a look at these. What I did was narrowed it down to a couple to show you here. And your 2 caraters are running in an 11 by 6 range. But that's the dimensions. It's not the weight. Also remember that every 25 points, diamonds go into a different per carat category. So if you wanted a piece of pie, you wanted a small sliver, it would be $2 for a piece of pie. If you wanted a quarter of the pie, it would be $10 for a slice, if that makes sense, exponentially. So I have an ISI1 and ISI2 here, and a GSI2. But the types of inclusion, here's some of the setting, but the types of inclusions are what we want to take a look at. So without further ado, this was again, an ISI1, and we have some pinpoints that are here, but let's just take a look at this thing. Move this out of the way. And we're going to when you see the plotting diagram, by the way, this is like looking at the top of an aquarium, if that makes sense. You don't look at diamonds sideways like you would at an aquarium. We plot them from the top down. So you see how nice the outline and the lobes are on this? There's not a dead spot in it. It's a beautiful, beautiful stone. Now mine is 1.5 carats. And look at how pretty that is. So we're going to put this, and you can't see, I'm going to bring this in. There's just not a dead spot in it. Let's take a look at this with it on my hand. Now that's a pretty nice stone, and it's got a pretty big spread. By putting the little halo around it, now this was the one that I showed you, but by putting the little halo on it, it gets a big bump. It gets a huge bump around it. And we have all of these settings that have to be tailored around it. But this is, you can do a hidden halo also. You can do the outside 1-row halo. And this is your basic setting. So that's not before we do anything, that would be shown to you on a CAD of what it would look like. But you can see this is what they call a hidden halo. But we don't have to do any of that. We could just do the regular pear shape on the base shank. And these are all about 1,100 or so, so don't think it's going way out there in price. So I'm going to put this carat 72, this first one, in a little tray here. And we're going to look at the other two and line them up, okay? All right, so that was the first one, carat 72, ISI1. That was 10,200, and it was 10.5 by 6.5. The next is a pear shape this has twinning wisps. Now, it's my favorite type of inclusion because you don't even see it. And if you can't see anything with this video, then you know that you can't see it. in person. Now, the G, this is an incredible stone because it's so bright. The higher you go in color, the more the per carat price, let's get this here, the more the per carat price accelerates. Some folks will say, yeah, I love that, but I just want it a little bit bigger, or I want it, a little bit wider. And gotta tell you, the price starts ratcheting up. But you see how beautiful the make is? It's not long. Look at this. A lot of fire. This is a beautiful stone. This is what jewelers usually buy their wives. High white, they're not that concerned about the clarity. Okay, let's take a look. And there's no, as you can see, nothing waving back at you. Just a beautiful stone. Let's put this in a little stone holder too so you can see it. And then I'm going to put it next to this is incredible. Here's my stone, just to give you an idea. Mine's only 1.5 carats, but look at the way this pops. It's a head snapper. It's just beautifully made. This is one of my favorite cutters, by the way. And let me put this in the tray, and you're going to see. So if you like it the way it is, you can imagine what it's going to look like. It really doesn't even need a halo, Brian, but if you want to use a halo. But look at this. Well, the first one was the 172, and it was an I. This is the carat 73. Oh, wait a minute. It's a carat 70. Sorry, this is the carat 70, and it's a G SI2. And let's take a look at the third one. Third one is a carat 73. And this is the ISI2. They all have personalities. They all have personalities. It's sometimes they laugh because I say it's like a litter of puppies, and they all look great. You see, this one is a little bit longer, not as full, but it's an ISI2. Again, with my favorite twinning wisps, which you don't see at all. So it works in terms of favorability price-wise. But this has a nice long look. It's 11.3 by 6.2. So gives you a lot of, show you. If somebody has a long section of a finger here, that's what they want. They want something to fill that. So let's drop this in. And show these to you this way. So I've got these a little bit out of order, but this is the 172 SI1. This is 10.2. The next one was the GSI2. This is 11.5. And the longest one is the carat 73, which is 11.3 by 6.2. That's 10.2 also. So 10.2, 10.2, and 11.5. Then again, don't forget your mounting shouldn't be more, but I mean these are beautiful, and you can see the scale and the size on my hand. We can take a look at these if you want to see these out in the daylight. I can do that tomorrow. But wanted to give you the first round with these and just let me know your thoughts. because this is a nice selection right here. We have to build the halo around the center stone. That's why it's so important to, let's go back to my middle one, my G. Being that we have to this is just a little wax, and I'm going to put it on here. As you can see, the lobes are bigger or shaped different. There you go. Yeah, it looks like a 2 carat, but you're not paying for a 2 carat. And you've got a beautiful stone here. Now that sets as low as the diamond will allow. Right now we've got it resting, but I've got to do a rendering for you with the CAD, but it's got a full length to width. Here's the longer one, if you like the longer one. Beautiful pair. They all are, actually. So I'm having a tendency to personally like this Carat 70G because it is so bright, but this is your decision. Beautiful stone. So let me know your thoughts, and we'll take it from there. You can stop and start this wherever you want, as you know. And we can go over some of the features together. Just let me know when you're available. Okay? Have a great weekend.